Product selling is when a salesperson basically focuses on trying to get business, build their business by going out and talking about the product that they sell. Let's say they sell a set of products or services. They go out every day and try to talk to as many people as they can about the product they sell, and that's their main effort and strategy to generate sales and get customers. Because they're always going out and just talking primarily about their product and their company and their role in the organization, product selling is typically an all about me approach. This is what I sell. Do you need what I sell? A product selling salesperson will assume that every prospect that they encounter needs the product that they sell, or that they should try to talk every prospect that they cross paths with into trying to buy their product. An example is maybe a salesperson goes to a networking event with a room full of people. The product selling salesperson will view everybody in that room as a potential prospect. The product selling salesperson tries to sell the product to every prospect because they assume that every prospect can buy from them. They try to sell to everybody. And they're focused on selling products to prospects, which by itself, that might not sound like a bad thing. If you're a salesperson, you should be trying to sell products to prospects. But when we talk about consultative selling, it'll be a little bit more clear why that might not be the optimum way to go. The product selling salesperson tries to sell the product at every step of the sales process. Most products need some steps that you go through, and the product selling salesperson will try to sell the product at every step. Let me give you an example. So if a salesperson sells web design services, I get emails every day, are you looking to redo your website? When they ask me, are you looking to redo your website? Even though we would have to have a conversation, multiple conversations, and there would be some sort of sales process, some sort of sales cycle. That question of, do you need what I sell, is trying to close the product at that particular point in the sales process. Product selling salespeople do most of the talking. They are trying to talk prospects into buying from them. And to do that, they're just talking as much as they can about their product and about their company. And their pitch primarily centers around explanations around the product they sell and descriptions around what the product does. In fact, a product selling salesperson, when they're thinking about how can I generate more sales or close more deals or generate more leads, they're typically trying to think about how can I describe my product in a more inviting way to build more interest. So their pitch is all around the product. And they're trying to basically talk the prospect into being interested. They're trying to talk to the prospect about the product to get them interested, which again, by itself sounds logical. You sell a product, let's try to talk as much as we can about the product to get the prospect interested. When we talk about consultative selling, I'll talk to you about maybe doing that in a more optimum way. Now, if you look at all of these things above, this shows you that the product selling salesperson is more focused on their own interests. Whenever you're negotiating anything, there's two parties involved, and each party has its own set of interests. So when you're trying to sell something, when a salesperson is trying to sell something to a prospect, each party has their own interests. The salesperson's interest is selling their product, hitting their sales targets, getting commission, getting promoted, all these things. That's their interest, providing for their family. Those interests are totally different than the prospects. The prospects' interests are maybe around their own company, their own job, their own income. So these interests are totally different. Now, it's not to say that you have to totally ignore your interests to be a consultative selling salesperson, but the product selling salesperson is all about their own interests. My product, my company, are you interested in buying from me so I can close a sale and I can make money? It's not focused much on the prospect's interest. The last point here is that the product selling salesperson, it tries to overcome objections. By the way, we all face objections. Objections are guaranteed, but the product selling salesperson tries to overcome objections by talking about the product. For example, if the prospect says, I'm not interested, the product selling salesperson will try to talk more about the product in order to try to overcome that, in order to try to make the prospect change from not interested to interested. Now, there are times where you need to face objections head on and overcome objections, but the consultative selling approach will be a different way than just trying to power through and talk about the product. That's what I consider product selling to be. And like I said, I think that most salespeople out there, this is how most salespeople are selling. You might not see how bad that is until we talk about consultative selling, but actually, let's look at what a product selling email might look like. And this is just just an outline. This isn't a full email. But if we take that approach, what would that look like in an email? And I can tell you, I get emails like this every single day, especially on LinkedIn. But hi, prospect. I'm a senior account manager with Company X. We provide product 1, 2, 3. I'm reaching out to you to see if you need what I sell. Can I schedule a 20 to 30 minute meeting with you to try to get you to buy what I sell? Best regards. Now, a little bit of that is, of course, not what a real salesperson would do. They wouldn't be that direct. But believe it or not, the real product selling cold emails are not too far from that. It's, this is who I work with. This is what we sell. Are you looking to make a change? Do you need what I sell? Can I schedule a meeting with you? So this message here is a little bit of tongue in cheek, but it's not too far from what a product selling email will do. And as you can see, if you send that email to someone that is at that particular moment looking to make a change and looking to buy what you sell, that's not a bad email, because you might get a response and you might be able to sell something. The challenge there is that you have to time it perfectly. With product selling, you have to time it perfectly where you cross paths with a prospect and they're looking to buy what you sell, and you can just power through and push your product. The challenge with that is that timing it perfectly can be challenging. And a lot of times when you're doing cold prospecting, cold outreach, most of the time, most of the prospects that you encounter are not in buying mode at that particular time for what you sell. As a result, you might want to use a little bit more of an indirect approach. And the consultative selling approach, not only is it a more effective approach that we show you here today, but it's a little bit not so direct. So you won't have to time it as perfectly.